Stop that for real. Yeah, this is it, y'all. Keep going. Kristina. Boyce.
All right, it's good to see some ladies in the audience. Yeah, ladies, you're gonna like my set. Yeah, it's the feels show. Yeah, it feels like it's way past my bedtime. Right? Yeah. I was gonna tell you guys that tomorrow is my birthday. But yeah, I think it's today already. I don't know, it's pretty late. Yeah, no, it's not today. Okay, it's close. Thank you. Feels like it. I decided to do the feels like the first time show because at 54, you don't have a lot of first times left, you know. Feels like the first time I'm having a heart attack. Or maybe a stroke. Yeah. Or using anal beads. Why would I say that? Something you don't know about me is I love motivational signs. Like, at my house, I've got a sign that says, luck is believing you are lucky. That's great, right? Because if you believe you're lucky, you'll be lucky. Now, my neighbor, she has a sign right on her front door, too. I don't think it's a good sign. It says, be you. What if you was a serial killer? Don't be you. I think those signs should come with, like, a warning, like, be you, asterisk. You're a rapist, a misogynist, a liar, cheater, Donald Trump. Be you if you're not Donald Trump, right? Yeah. The funny thing is, you know, like the one white guy here, he's like, that's not funny. I voted for him. No. So the other thing is that sign, what's really funny about that sign is it says, Chicago Bears, be you. Yeah, no. Be winners. Can't be that vague with the Bears. You gotta be like, Chicago Bears, be the Patriots. Be Baltimore Ravens, be San Francisco, don't be you. Right? Too much leeway in there for the Bears. Yeah, the other thing is, when we were growing up, some of you are older, you remember the motivational posters? Where, like in my day, it was the cute little kitten hanging from the tree, right? Remember? Yeah. And it said, hang in there, baby, right? Yeah. Man, I just want to tell you, if you work at a job where that poster's hanging up, yeah, your job sucks. Really bad. Because someone made a conscious effort to hang that poster up. Management was like, yeah, people keep quitting. What should we do? Maybe pay them more? No. Let's get a motivational poster, right? After the kitten, then came there was an orangutan and a monkey. And then for you millennials, right? For the millennials, you know what your spirit animal is? Unicorn. No, it's a sloth. Yeah, I think you're kind of lazy, right? Yeah. I'm just saying they picked that. I didn't pick it. You know, so if you live in your parents' basement still or in their house and you have that poster hanging there, baby, with the sloth on it, yeah, you might want to reconsider your life. Maybe time. Right? Yeah. Yeah, the other thing is, I think relationships are really hard, right? Right? I mean, I've been on this earth 54 years and relationships are hard. So I'm going to help everyone out tonight. I'm going to help the guys first, then I'm going to help the ladies, right? Okay. Does everybody know who Conor McGregor is? MMA fighter? No, some of you ladies don't know. Well, there was a video of him having a full-on roid rage, and he tried to fight a bus, right? Because there was a Russian fighter on it. And he was like crazy. So picture Conor McGregor in that roid rage, right? Or just picture someone crazy if you don't know who he is. The craziest person you can think of. And then I want you to remember, once a month, before we ladies get our period, there's enough hormones racing through our bodies that we want to fight a bus. And unfortunately, yeah, you're the bus. Nobody said life's fair. right? Exactly. So I think what we need to do is like back in the 70s, back in my day, they had mood jewelry. Remember the mood jewelry? So what we need is some mood jewelry that ties into our cycle. So that way, if you come walking in from work and you see my necklace is black, you know black means come back. But when you do come back, bring something, like chocolates or flowers or anything from Tiffany's. That works. And then maybe they could, some smart young people like you guys right here in the front, you could create an app that will tie into to my mood necklace so that when the guy's at his safe house, because he's like, I am not fighting Conor McGregor today, he can check the status of where you're at. Like, and he could be like, oh, yellow, I'm a lucky fellow, I get to go home, right? So I think that's very important, and that will help. But for fellas, the one thing you have to remember is that even though we're like Conor McGregor once a month, we have the mom gene, and that stops us from killing you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because there are some women who are born without the mom gene, and they kill a lot of men. Right? And we silently applaud them. We can't do it in the open because of the mom gene. But secretly, we're like, oh, yeah, thank you. But like, here's an example of how strong the mom gene is. I have a friend. Yeah, you owe him some money. Help him out, man. No. I have a friend, and she's a cop, a homicide cop in the city of Chicago. And the mom gene is strong within her because her husband is a little bit of a bad boy. Yeah, and yet he still lives because of the mom gene. But someday, if it ever wears off, and she accidentally kills him, the reporters will be coming up to the family and friends. Were you surprised that she accidentally killed him? And we'd be like, oh my God, we were so surprised, that it didn't happen sooner. But he had a good run, he did. Mom Jean must have wore right off. Okay, now I'm going to help you ladies out here. All right, ladies, listen up, because this is really, really important, especially you young girls. You know how your phone has an app, right? Your phone has an app. It has a bunch of apps. But there's a program running those apps in the background. Men will sit there and they'll watch the show and they'll laugh and they'll drink and they look like those apps, like normal. But in the background, the program is sex. 24/7 they're thinking about sex. You know it. Don't act like, oh, no we don't. Yeah, you know. They're thinking about sex all the time. So in order to make it a happy life, you have to learn how to train them. Just like you would. You want to train a dog, what do? Use a cookie, right? Yeah. Exactly. I have a horse. I want to train my horse, I use a cookie. You want to train a man, you need to use your lady cookies. That's right. Something simple. You're vacuuming or cleaning, and they're always like, hey, come on, baby, let's go do it. Come on, let's do it right now, let's do it. And you're like, I'm vacuuming, get out of here. So what you need to do is you need to phrase it like this. You say, honey, I would really like you to play with my lady cookies, but I don't have enough energy to do you and do the dishes. Trust me. Before you say do the dishes, they're done and you're on your way to the bedroom. Right? Little lady cookie motivation. It works. So the other thing is that after I did that set one night, a man came up to me and he was like, that's kind of rude. We think about other stuff. And I'm like, you do? What? And he's like, we think about sports. I'm like, okay, you sure you want to go with that? Sports? And he's like, yeah. I go, isn't sports just a metaphor for sex? Hole in one! One-on-one play action. He's gonna score! right? And you never want to be the guy the coach sends to the bench because you're not getting any. Ooh, he's not going to score. He's on the bench. He's a loser. Yeah. So something you might not know. So the other thing about men that's funny is that men have created so many things in our everyday lives, and it's so obvious, like light fixtures, right? Think about light fixtures. They look like a breast with a nipple. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the ceiling fan light kick? It's a big flat boob with a nipple on it. Yeah, I bought a house recently and there were so many light fixtures that looked like boobs, I started to think I was a lesbian. Is that just me or is that a sexy light? Why do I suddenly feel like sucking that light? I don't know. The funny thing about it is, and I kid you, this is true, women light designers have gotten together and come out and made a statement. They are going to start making light fixtures look more like penises. Yeah, lighting is having a Me Too movement. Yeah. And then think about the lights in the ceiling. What are those called? Yeah, canned lights. It was a guy with a butt fetish. Yeah, let's call him canned lights. My favorite part is restaurants, right? Bars and restaurants. How many, so we got Hooters, and we got Twin Peaks, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones, right? But my favorite of all time, which was when I was a kid back in the 80s and 90s, the best one, which is a big joke that most people don't know, is that, do you remember the restaurant Chi-Chi's? Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant, right? Yeah, well, the funny thing is I was working at a restaurant and I walked in the kitchen and the two Mexican cooks said, what are you doing tonight? And I said, I'm going to Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant. And they bust out laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? They're like, Chi-Chi's means breasts in Spanish. So that was the first boob restaurant and we didn't know. So all the white middle class suburban people are like, we're going to Chi-Chi's. They didn't know we're going to the breasts. Because I know if my mom knew that it was breasts in Spanish, she'd be like, we're not taking the children there. No, we are not. The 90s, So it's like that. So then if that's not enough, think about cars, right? How many times cars originally were built with big headlights, right? Because they made them like a woman's headlight. That's where the term, I'd like to put my junk in her trunk, right? That's where it comes from. And that was a guy. It was a guy. The guys were doing that. Now there's women car designers, so it's not as bad. But to prove my point of how serious men have influenced things with sex is I want you to think about this last thing, and then I won't talk about that subject anymore. Men, somebody, it's got to be a man, I know it's not a woman, created a bra for a car, right? Because I got to put one on myself every day. I'm not putting it on the freaking car. No. Some guy who wanted to have sex with his car, but he's like, is this weird? It's a car. Put a bra on it. Now it doesn't seem weird, right? You know it. Somebody with a car fetish. It is, but somebody invented it. Probably a man thinking about breasts. So, I love fantasy football. How many of you guys love fantasy football? Anybody? What? Well, wait till you hear why I like fantasy football. You might change your tune. I'm the proud owner of a fantasy football team. And you know what's great about that? Nobody cares if I sexually harass my players. It's okay. Just last week, I told Mitchell Trubisky, I said, you go back in that locker room and you put on that Dicka Halloween costume and you get out here and take one for the team. Who cares if he's a bad quarterback? He's kind of sexy. And Dicka back in the day was kind of sexy. And you put the two together and you have the orgasm. Yeah, see? And then, I'm a good owner. I'm okay if my players want to take a knee. I can get behind them or in front of them. I'm good either way. I was like, Kaepernick, yeah, put him on my team. He likes to kneel. Get him down there. Yeah. Yeah, I was okay with it. My team, it's not really that good, you know, and that's okay, you know, because it's made up of tight ends. One time a guy came up to me after I did that set, and he was like, you know, how would you like it if the shoe was on the other foot? And I was like, you mean how women have been treated since the beginning of time? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all okay if I sexually harass my fantasy football players. I think it's a big deal. That's right. And the funny thing is the NFL, I don't know if you know this, they were thinking about having an all-gay football team. But then they realized it could never work. You know, every week would be a bye week. That's right. I don't know what the big deal is. Like, they don't want any women. Like, they don't have hardly any women in the NFL. They had a couple trainers until Antonio Brown sexually assaulted them, and now, you know, they've ruined it for all the other women. He can't control himself. I think what they need to do is to hire ugly girls, right? Give some ugly girls a chance. All the pretty girls are the cheerleaders, they date the football captain. Let some ugly girls work in the NFL, right? That'll change things. I think another thing is there's oh, I got a little bit of cotton mouth going. Woo! That's great. That's right. The other thing is I don't know what the big deal is about. There's one woman judge. It's 2020 and they have one field judge. I don't know what the big deal is. We women, we make the rules up and enforce them at home, right? How many times have you guys heard these calls in the bedroom, right? Delay of game. Blocking below the waist. Illegal use of hand in the end zone. We wrote these. It's crazy. I think the real reason they don't want any women in the NFL is because they don't know what they're going to do with all the sponsors, right? Right? I would watch every game just to hear the announcer say, and tonight's big game was brought to you by Tampax, the official tampon of the NFL. And they're missing out on a perfect opportunity for a new drinking game. Every time you hear a feminine hygiene product, you do a Bloody Mary shot. Because nothing goes with football on Sunday mornings like Bloody Marys, right? Yeah. That's exactly right. And I think it'd be a great form of punishment. In years past, there was Michael Vick, Ray Rice. This year, again, it's Antonio Brown. He's a bad boy. And I wrote the perfect commercial. So anytime there's someone who's bad, you make them do the feminine hygiene commercial. It would go like this. Hi, my name is Antonio Brown, and nobody's a bigger douche than me. So if you need one, I recommend Summer's Eve. Right? Nobody in the NFL would hit their girlfriend after that. Be like, I want to beat the crap out of her, but I'm not doing a douche commercial. Like, nobody's doing that. So, you know, it's summertime. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. The other thing about the NFL, the number one foul in the NFL is the best thing for a relationship. You know what it is? More holding. Holding before, holding during, or holding after. Lots of holding. So, okay, I'm going to leave you with this last joke. I like swimming. Summer's over. So I have to go join a gym. I joined this gym with a big pool. And they give you, like, they have all these classes like water aerobics and stuff. Well, they had water polo the other day. And I'm like, I'm going to try that. They had a free try water polo class. So I went. And apparently I'm really good at water polo. Yeah, the bad thing is my horse drowned. Apparently 4 floaties wasn't enough for a 1,200-pound animal, I guess. No, the funny thing is I actually own horses, and all horses can swim. I don't know if you know that. All horses can swim. They can. And for any of you racists out there, yeah, even the black horses can swim. All right, my name is Kristina Boyce. You have been a great crowd. Thanks for staying up this late.
Yeah!